Well, round 4 at the PlayStation 4 GT3 League. We're finally here live. Last week we weren't to be on air at Donington GP. Unfortunately, having recovered from 3,000 miles of jet lag, I was not able to make it to the box. But here we are at the Circuit de Catalunya outside Barcelona, Spain. Currently on at the moment is Jacko Nortman 46. Well, a bit wide there in the RUF, coming on to turn 16 to start a hot lap in this qualifying session. Good evening to you all. I'm Pete Markroft as he goes into the pits. So we'll catch up with Vickers F1 in the McLaren MP4-12C GT3. The chat box here is open live on XRL Racing League's Twitch channel, twitch.tv, and of course if you've got any messages you can get them on the chat box accordingly. I'll do my best to give you a shout out and give you a few respond to any questions that you have. And it's interesting that we find ourselves this week at one of the Formula 1 racetracks here in the GT3 division because of course this weekend was the return of Formula 1. The Australian Grand Prix is this weekend and there's been a lot of comments made about the brand new qualifying system that's been made. I'll give you my points of view later on in this session, but for now, on board, we've got unique talent in a Mercedes SLS. Last week's winner at Donington GP. Unfortunately, as I said, I didn't get a chance to bring you that coverage last week, but I'll be able to give you all coverage live and uninterrupted here tonight. Goes through the turns 13 and 14 and 15 quite easily there. Into 16, heading up towards the height, long straight. Normally will be a DRS in Formula 1, once again dives into the pit. No driver has actually yet managed to go through and set a lap. Everyone seems to be setting installation laps, making sure they know exactly where they're going. System Flip, one of the few drivers who actually managed to take on this really tricky Ginetta G55, which is an absolute handful and an animal, and he reverts back to the pits as well as Jacob Neyman comes back out on the lap, and so does Bobbly Swagger 96 in the Audi GT. So, plenty of action here coming up in the next hour and a half or so, live on exclusive on twitch.tv. Now, we've got an interesting session here because it starts at 3 o'clock local time in Spain, and the time progression is 5 times. So we're likely to see ourselves going into darkness, though it's going to be a clear and dry race from what I've seen on the weather forecast. We're not going to see the same kind of craziness that happened at Urquhart Lake in Road America. So, meanwhile, we're on board with Bobbly Swagger as it goes through turn 4, heading towards this downhill hairpin at turn 5. Very easy to go deep here and find yourself going right off the circuit. He uses all that run up on the outside. Maximum grip, almost F1-esque there. Heading through the corner, that's not a corner at 6 into 7 and 8. Fast chicane with a slip, no sleeper sausage curve on the inside there, I just noticed. On the more recent F1 titles, and of course in the race circuit itself, there's a sleeping policeman on the inside there, which really unsettles the car. Here on Project Cars, you can really open the task. You go down this just back straight towards turn 10, a tight hairpin, much tighter than it looks at first. You think it's a nice, quite 90-degree corner. It isn't. It's a very, very tight bottleneck to go into L and 12. Couple of cones on the inside there, and the cracked windscreen of Bobbly Swagger's Audi is really going to make life difficult. He heads into turns 12 and 13, gets a nice inside apex, rides around to the outside at 14, gets on the brakes. Look at the sausage curves on the inside and those chicanes. Very easy to set the cars. He goes over the white line on the inside there. Got to be careful you don't do that too much, or you will get a penalty through turn 16 and over into the pits. So the drivers, once again, not willing to set a lap time at the moment. No one seems to be actually getting a consistent run in here to get themselves a road. But System Flint in the G55, is he going to get a lap? No, he isn't. So at the moment, well, it's all a bit unclear at the top of the order. Let's give you a rundown at the moment. Keller Ramsey's in first place on a 143.0. The all-way second is Unique Talent on a 143.6. We've got 94001, a 143.635. Only 1/100th of a second slower. That is incredibly close between the SLS and the RUF. And then we've got Bagamo in the BMW Z4 on a 143.8. The Kentucky Racer in the BMW Z4 on a 145.1. Welsh JK Bad Boy in the Audi R8 on 145.6. And then we got ourselves down in 7th place, Flubber Racing in the BMW Z4 on 146.0. Maldovic in the McLaren MP4-12C. He's on a 147.2. Then we've got BMW GT3 being driven by Football 67611. Try saying that 3 times fast. And he's there on a 148.4 at the moment for his best lap. Vickers F1 rounds out the top 10 on the McLaren F1, the MP4-12C, and he is on a 148.9. So a huge disparity in pace here, 7 seconds covering the top 10. That's a colossal difference and really shows over right on board Bagamo on the in-car camera here, riding on the bumper. Look how close he's getting to the inside apexes on the power in the BMW Z4, goes to the inside, just about missing the sausage curve. On the second exit, throws himself wide there. So easy to get your lap time cancelled. so as Yates to try and hit the pit wall. Coming over the lap time now. Gallo on the 1:43.8 was his best so far. Goes to finish the lap time, and these no improvement thus far. So we've been disappointed by that. Continue racing. Let's ride on board with him in the BMW Z4 as he heads through turn 5 downhill towards the kink, not really a corner, and the chicanes are 7 and 8. Very squirrely under braking and almost drifting through the corner. I find it so difficult to get the power down in the BMW. Bit of a surprise. Normally a car where you can really push it and get a great performance, but not tonight. Just to give you an idea of the cars on track at the moment, you can see the red dot there. At the pole position leader going through turn 12, heading down towards 13. But Continue Racer heading now to turn 11 uphill, and there's on the easy apexes there, quite easy to get in lazy corners, heading into towards turn 12. And the back end once again squirreling out from the BMW Z4, really finding it very difficult to get the power down. Evidently the setup is far slipperier than it looks there, but rides those curves beautifully at 14 and 15. Into this final corner again, squirrely under braking, not really getting it all right on board. A 45.1 is his best, heading towards the start-finish line. Is there an improvement here? There is a 1:44.3, so he gained almost a second on that lap time there. Absolutely superb stuff. Meanwhile, we're kind of stuck in. Oh, that's why we're in the garage. That explains that one. Welsh AK bad boy on the Audi R8. One of the joint organisers in the league is really going to try and get some results together here. He's not had the best couple of weekends thus far. Last week he actually retired after only 4 laps, so really off the pace pretty much. I find it very difficult. But at the moment, a 1:44.0 is his best. Good enough for P5. And the Audi R8 is a great all-round car. Very easy to get the power down, very easy to get the control, but it lacks the top-end speed. So a track like this where you've got the long straight down towards turn 1 and the back straight towards turn 10, that could be a bit of a sitting duck. Goes a bit wide on the outside there, really found it difficult. He's got a little bit of traffic up ahead as well. It's 3 cars all very close together. So the last thing he needs here, and he's actually gone very, very deep indeed at the apex at turn 10. Really got that rumble. Great driving on the inside there for one of the McLarens to get out of the way. Heading towards turn 11 up towards 12. Going a bit wide in the apex. Is not really getting the car power down at all here. Into 13 and 14. Right wide, goes over the outside. That's so easy to do. No grip out there at all. Avoiding the inside apexes. Misses the actual compound. Little curves on the inside. Manages to avoid throwing the car off. Into turn 16. Getting a little bit of a helpful tow here from the Mercedes SLS. Head towards the start-finish line. Lap time, no improvement. Not been able to get further up the grid. We've been disappointed by that. Meanwhile, we've got 94001 somewhere on circuit in the RUF. And yeah, once again, the tracking camera's not working very well here at the moment. So I do apologise if the coverage does keep cutting out, but we'll do our best to keep it going for you. Heading through turns 13 to 14 and 15. The RUF, one of the better all-round cars here. And 94001 putting it to good use at the moment. Anyway, on the final corner, heading towards the start-finish line. A 43.6 is his best. Is he going to be able to improve on that and threaten the top positions? Not as yet, so he's still down there at the moment. Killer Ramsey on the 43.0 is actually in the pits and taking it easy. He's got a half-second difference over Janine Talon, who is out on track at the moment in the Mercedes SLS. So let's ride on board here. This almost Batmobile, let's look at the length of the bonnet on the front of that car, and he's going very wide indeed, finding it very difficult. Not going to get much pace there. Through turn 9, gets into the slipstream behind the BMW Z4. We might see ourselves looking for an overtake here. Heading out towards turn 10, gets on the brakes much later. But you can see how much the dirty air has thrown him offline there, and he's completely lost out as he goes through turn 10 into 11. Gets on the inside, tries to pass the BMW Z4, but that Z4 is not getting out of the way. There's been a spin behind me while for 94001 at turn 5. He's going backwards down the track. That's the last thing he wants to be doing, and he's retired straight to the pits. Bergamo, meanwhile, in the BMW Z4, is coming up to the same area, but the car has cleared and got off the circuit, so he's actually not been compromised too badly. As he heads towards turn 7 for Bergamo, a 43.8 in the BMW Z4 as the pace starts to quicken, and the drivers are starting to get a bit closer together now. You've got 4 drivers in the 43s at the top of the order, and the Welsh AK bad boy in 5th is only 2 tenths off on the 44.0, and Brooklyn Racer in the BMW Z4 on the 144.3. So the drivers are a lot closer now, but there's still a half-second gap between first and second. So Killer Ramsey, he didn't win last week. It was actually Janique Talbot in the Mercedes SLS who actually got the victory at Donington Park. but Killer Ramsey right back on form here. He's won 2 races thus far in this season, and he's looking very strong at the moment to make that a possible 4th. But we saw with the chaos that happened at Road America, it's so easy to find yourself compromising the race and find yourself at the back of the grid. Bagamo, meanwhile, in the BMW Z4, goes from turn 16, heading towards the start-finish line. Is there any improvement here from Bagamo? Not as yet. 43.8 is his best as he goes back to the pits. And we've got a few drivers off the track at the moment. A lot of drivers sitting in the garage, taking it nice and easy as we're into the final 90 seconds. Now that brings me on actually a segue there into the Formula 1 qualifying. What did I make of that changes to this season with the 90-second elimination that happens after so many minutes and it keeps going on? I think it's an absolute farce. The fact that Q3 had all the drivers putting the feet up pretty much with 5 minutes to go was an absolute shambles. And I get the feeling that the X-Race at Bahrain, that system of qualifying will be out. I'll give you all comments on that. Please get your comments in and I'll try and get them in and read out for you on the stream. Meanwhile, Flipper Racing in the BMW Z4, we're right on board towards the end of the lap here. Try and get the sweeping camera, but it has actually cut away previously. Heading through the final lap, so heading towards the start-finish line. Gets on the grip nice and beautifully. Heading towards the start-finish, heading to 46.0.
Whoa, someone catches you about 3 seconds a lap. Why don't you just move out of the way? Fuck's sake, man. Just fuck my qualifying right up when I ran for fucking 32.
Okay, viewers, I wasn't expecting any in-car commentary tonight on the stream, but you just got that. That's a bit of a surprise there. I really didn't expect to hear that. So for all you viewers out there, the driver was very, very disappointed indeed. Felt they were being completely blocked when they were on a 42. Whoever that was really was not happy. So as we get towards the end of the session now, it looks like we're going to find us on Killer Ramsey on the 43.0 in first place, GT3 Talent in third on the 43.6, Nightfall 001 on the 43.6 in third place, Bagamo on the 43.8 in fourth. Now, lost 5th and 6th, but Bagamo Swarker on 45.7 is in 7th place, Flipper Racing is 8th on a 46.0, and Maldovic 47.2. And then round out the top 10 is System Flint in the Ginetta G55, about 47.5. A massive 4 seconds covering the top 10. That's almost like you've got the 2010 McLaren Mercedes and the 2010 Ferrari up against the Caterhams. That's the difference in pace thus far. Now we've got a brief 10-minute practice session here, a little bit of warm-up for the drivers to get themselves a chance to really understand the car and really give themselves a chance to move things forward. All you people out there at the moment who are watching live at the moment on Twitch Channel 1, thank you very much for joining. And again, bit of an unexpected surprise with a bit of the driver radio commentary there. Something I did not expect to hear, and the driver in question was not happy. So whoever that was, we'll try and get some more information on that. Really felt they were compromising the qualifying, and that is the last thing that you want when you're out on circuit. Now, Circuit de Catalunya, it's the stomping ground of testing in the Formula 1 and many other forms of motorsport. And the reason for that, quite simply, it's a circuit that gives you the chance to really test all elements of the car. You've got the lovely long straight down into the tight corner at turn 1. You've got the back straight into that tight hairpin. A great opportunity to understand slipstreaming, great opportunity to understand the ratios of the car. But then you've also got turns 3 and 4, both of which are very long, multiple apex corners where it's all about getting the speed consistent and getting round the line. So it's a brilliant package for getting the aero together. And then you've got that annoying, awkward, slow chicane at 14 and 15. So easy to find yourself going off the circuit there because of the balance of the car, being hit by the curbs and also by the sleeping policeman. So it's a bit of a stomping ground, and normally in the Formula 1 seasons, you find that the cars all run very similar to each other there because they do so much testing at this circuit. But GT cars, very different beast, completely different aerodynamics, completely different packages in terms of power. So it's certainly a track where it really tests your ability overall and shows if you've got a good car or if you've got a car that's only average. Now, GT Talent wanted to get himself some power and get past all these cars to get a good final testing run here in this wall. We've got 7.5 minutes to go. The times don't really mean anything here because ultimately the qualifying is over. But let's ride on board anyway with Unique Talent. He's one of the faster drivers, last week's winner at Donington Park, and finds himself starting second today on the grid. So it's going to be a track which is definitely going to favour the Mercedes SLS. Very powerful machine, got a lot of power in the engine, but also it's a very clunky car. It's a very heavy car, it's a very long car, so the centre of gravity can make it very, very difficult and tricky. So it'll be interesting to see how it holds up in the race. Going through turn 3, able to really get close to the apex there, Unique Talent, and able to run out wide, use that little green AstroTurf. As head towards turn 4, this multiple apex, really fast corner, and gets a very wide entry there, almost a karting line, as he really pushes to get up close to the back of the RUF, and already he's catching up. Look at the amount of damage that Mercedes SLS has taken, and he's going to take a fancy him. Oh, almost a big accident there as the RUF, I'm not sure who the driver was there, but almost went off at turn 5, and Unique Talent read that and make a brilliant move around the outside. That was a racing move, would have been great, but needless to say, but behind him, a big accident for the RUF going into the wall. So Unique Talent will lead to see if some actual gap between him and the car behind him, but Unique Talent really didn't seem like he had the pace to match Killer Ramsey in the RUF. A half-second gap between first and second, definitely the advantage point to the RUF. But it is a long race and it's a challenging circuit. Anything can happen. Unique Talent heading into turn 13, gets a nice kiss on the apex line just to avoid going off the outside into turn 14. Oh, he cuts the corner completely there, hits the sausage curve, and that throws him off at turn 15. You can't be seen doing that too often, or you're going to find yourself getting on the wrong side of the stewards and getting a penalty, which is something that you do not want. Heading over the start finish line now. Has his time been counted? It has, but look at the difference. A 1:45.9, he set a 1:43.6 in qualifying, so evidently he was held up quite badly by the RUF. So we'll ride on board, continue still, because get some more accurate data to see exactly how much pace he has in that Mercedes SLS. And of course, if you've got any questions here on the stream live, they're exclusive on twitch.tv, you can get them in the box. I'll do my best to read them out to you and get some questions in. Heading into turn 4, Unique Talent, 1:45.9 was the fastest of this short warm-up session. 5 minutes to go here, a final chance for the drivers to really just get themselves a chance to take a look at this and find the circuit, get the grip, understand exactly what they're doing, and really know the track. And Unique Talent is pushing as hard as he can, going through turn 5 into 7 and 8, and you can see he's kissing the inside curb there, daring the car to spin him out, challenging the machine to get him back, hitting him in the grass there, heading into turn 9, drifting through the edge. He's going right on the ragged edge, all out attack here. Unique Talent really showing what he's capable of. He's going down the back straight towards turn 10, gets on the nice smooth line, aims to apex beautifully there, riding the outside. You see how much the corner tightens halfway through 10 into turn 11 and 12, and the Mercedes SLS getting a great run on the inside, kick a flying and a bit of a drift coming on the outside towards turn 13, and you can see Unique Talent really pushing hard here. Beautiful ride on the kiss of the apex, heading into turn 14. How close he is. Once again, he's cut the corner at both 14 and 15. That's going to result in a disqualification. If he does that again in the racing, that's not what we want to see here. Heading towards the final finish line. Let's see how fast he was going. If the time's counted with all those things, a 44.1 is still not his fastest. But meanwhile, Killer Ramsey, the rival, the pole position man in the RUF, is just going through turn 11 now. So let's ride on board with him. He's done the 45.1 as his opening lap. More of a kind of an indicator of where he's at here. The conditions won't have changed that much so far, but who knows what's going to happen in the race. Heading through turn 13 to 14 and 15, much fairer from Killer Ramsey there. You saw already Ken that inside the line. See the difference between himself and Unique Talent. Heading through turn 16, get on the inside. Killer Ramsey heading towards the start finish line, gets the power down, heading towards the finish. Can he get a faster top light side here? A 44.0 provisional P1. Unique Talent meanwhile comes back out of the pits having taken a quick box. Meanwhile, Welshie aka Bad Boy, he'll want to get a better lap here. It's done a 45.7 thus far in the Audi R8, heading through turn 16, down towards the start finish line, really putting the ragged edge power down here. A 44.8, much closer from Welshie aka Bad Boy. He'll be much better, much more happy with that. Meanwhile, we got Cozy 350 who's out in the tyre wall on the circuit, heading through, trying to find a few more drivers who are on the circuit at the moment. Bagamo, he's just about to set a lap time by the looks of it, or start a lap. A 54.5. Wow, that is slow. He's evidently had some kind of incident out there. Meanwhile, we've got Maldovic F1 in the McLaren MP4-12C GT3. So we're right on board to see the end of this lap from Maldovic to see if he can set a decent time here. Maldovic's a driver who has not really shown flashes of pace on the one lap, but what he has been able to do is race quite well and consistently, and that's what you need when it comes to race day, that consistency, that approach. Like, oh, but then you go off the circuit line, it's all our commentators curse, straight into the gravel as soon as they talk about consistency. Well, never mind, someone's got to have it at some point. But yes, Cozy 350 has parked his RUF in this gravel trap at turn 1 and has not returned to the pit. He's left it as it is. Now, right above with Welsh aka Bad Boy, just about to come to turn 10, he's actually just behind Janique Talent, the Mercedes SLS. So he's going to be getting a bit of turbulent air here and struggling with downforce. It's the last thing he needs as he heads towards the start-finish line. Very wide line at turn 12. Really struggled to get the power down. Evidently finding it much more difficult. Into 14, oh, once again, Welsh Capo actually misses the apex completely and goes off the circuit. Now, right above Janique Talon as he heads towards the start-finish line. He's just come out of the pit, so he's not going to be set a lap time here. But will he get around in time? No, actually, no, he won't. He won't make it round. So there's no lap time from him to watch on board. Cozy's in the pit. Bagamo 154 was his best so far in his warm-up section. Let's see how much better he does here on the second lap. Has he got a better run towards the start-finish line? 146.2. Much better, but still way off the pace. So that should be worrying him. And to be honest, I think that's pretty much the end of this warm-up session. So, as we head towards the racing grid, it's very much game on as these drivers continue to try and get the position and the points. For those of you out there watching live, thank you very much for joining us here on XRL.com. It's live and exclusive on Twitch.tv. And most of the drivers have returned to the pits now and retired. There's very little going on here. None of these drivers are going to settle that time in time for the qualifying. So the race is going to be pretty much on. Killer Ramsey is from pole position, but we see Janique Talon a bit aggressive, maybe a bit fast. It'll be interesting to see if he can take it to Ramsey during the race. So here we go, it's going to be lights out on the grid very soon as we see the drivers all lining up to try and get themselves all sorted out. And you can see that I've got to actually retire to the pit before I can actually monitor this. So it's going to be a tricky bit of coverage, but I'll do my best to bring it to you here live and exclusive on Twitch.tv. Thank you all very much for joining us, and the race will be going on now. So, heading into the all-new start of the race here, and if we move further forward, we can see already the Welsh aka Bad Boy's got a bad start in the Audi. We've got Bagamo in 4th place, got on the inside. We've got 94001 in the RUF. But look at this, Janique Talon getting on the inside and the back of the Killer Ramsey in the RUF. But already he's got clear. Meanwhile, further behind there, Janique Talon really trying to get on the attack here. As behind him, we've got 94004, and then we've got Bagamo. But look at this, 4 cars abreast going for turn 3. And we've got massive bit of chaos there as well. Welsh aka Bad Boy is in 4th place. New Swagger is in 6th place. Jenkins on the inside being attacked. Oh, a bit of contact between Botley, Swagger and Jenkins. Jenkins 227 pushing Botley, Swagger on the outside. Very aggressive driving there. A bit unfair as well as Maldovic dives on the inside to turn into P6. Welsh aka Bad Boy 5th place in the Audi. Bagamo in the BMW C4 in 4th place. There we go. 94001 in the Audi RUF. And then Janique Talon has got a big run here on the back of the Killer Kevin Ramsey in the RUF, driving in the Mercedes SLS, and he's got a bit of lack of grip there, and as a result, Knight 4001 has got a chance to attack, and so has Pagamo. The top four are very, very close together indeed, heading towards turn 10, anyone going to go, oh, big collision! Knight has just hit the back of Janine Talon and almost Pagamo to go through on the inside, a big mistake for Knight 4001, and Pagamo's got through the BMW Z4. Janine Talon is now attacking on the back, trying to do his best to be able to get back into this, heading into turn 13, and this is going to allow Kevin Ramsey to open the legs there, Sebastian Vitalis, and attack this grid. It's not what he needs. But we've got Janine Talon in fourth, showing us fourth place actually. Who's that there? Pagamo. I'm not quite sure what happened there, which for some reason Kevin Ramsey is showing as in second place. Don't quite get that, but here we go. Janine Talon down at the inside of the slipstream, and that's going to be very much done and dusted. Collision though with the BMW Z4 in a straight line, and look at that on the outside trying to defend his line, but there's no way that Pagamo can hang on there, and he drops down to third, but he's not going to be giving up as we go through turn 3. Meanwhile, Kevin Ramsey's got a little bit of a gap, but not a huge one, as Pagamo seems to be able to hold the power a bit better there. Janine Talon in the Mercedes SLS heading into turn 4, and look at the mistake, goes a bit wide there. Pagamo's hitting on the middle of the bumper, going through turn 4. Janine Talon's going to be slamming the steering wheel, frustrations almost like a gut, and once again Pagamo, this is braking point completely wrong, hits the back of Janine, so now Janine Talon's going to be so cross with this. The last thing he needs is to keep hitting by the other drivers. Pagamo in the BMW Z4 has got to be careful here as he attacks the back of the Mercedes SLS. Behind him, meanwhile, Knight 4001 has begun to catch up, so the top four are all quite close, but Kevin Ramsey has got a little bit of a gap in first place in the RUF, and that's going to allow him to open the tats, stretch his legs, and be able to move things forwards. Pagamo thinks about moving the inside, turn 10, he's not really got the grit to attack there, hits the inside curve, almost spins the car, but manages to bucket power out of that and get the traction back down, as Janine Talon is really struggling in that BMW, the Mercedes SLS, really getting a bit ragged here, and Pagamo is all over the back of him into turn 13 and the chicane of 14-15. Pagamo seems to have the upper hand in general, but the power of these cars means that they can easily slipstream one another, as Knight 4001 in the RUF starts to get into the slipstream, starts to get the power down, but Pagamo is just a little bit too far ahead at the moment. Riding on board with Knight, you can see the distance between Pagamo and also Janine Talon in the Mercedes SLS out in second place. Big Knight 4001 very late on breaking into turn 1, has to back out of the move there as Pagamo just about fends him off. And behind them, meanwhile, Washington Bubba has made a mistake, spun the car, and he almost got collected by his teammate Bob Lee Swagger. Meanwhile, behind him, look, Kentucky Racer is just about able to get out of the way there. Great drive from Washington Bubba, he held in the middle of the circuit, left plenty of gaps so the other guys could go through. Maldovic in 7th, Kentucky Racer in 6th, and we've got Bob Lee Swagger in 5th for Audi. Knight 4001 in the RUF, but then look at this, you got Pagamo in 3rd place, and we've got a backmarker, I think that might be Cozy, 350, who's already been lapped by the first place rider, Kevin Ramsey. Unbelievable driving here, look at the smoke being thrown up, and that gets all over. Janine Talon makes the big mistake, goes off the circuit, Pagamo goes through, so does Knight 4001, and I get the feeling that we may have just had a retirement here. Going to the back of the grid, indeed we have. Oh, big mistake, system point attempt, nice, oh, crazy chaos here. Jenkins in 7th place, head behind 5th, Consideration is in 5th place, Bobley Swagger in 4th, Knight 4001 is in 3rd place, and Pagamo 2nd. So last week's winner at Donington Park has retired from the circuit with 22 laps to go. Evidently he got tired of being punted and tired of making mistakes. Evidently he's not very happy. Janine Talon is out. Knight 4001 trying to get to the back of Pagamo, who's now trying to also close the gap on Kevin Ramsey. Just to give you an idea of the lap times, on first place at 1:45.6 from Ramsey. Pagamo's actually going quicker on a 45.2, and the Knight 4001 on the 45.8. But after that, everyone else in the 46s and the 49s. Really not the position, the pace that you want to be. And the drivers really struggling to get the pace down initially. But it's a long race. There's plenty of time to catch up. So we've got Maldovic F1 goes off the circuit at turn 1, and that's going to allow a brilliant positional play there as Jenkins goes through in the BMW Z4. I would like to stay on board with the external cameras, but unfortunately it seems to be delaying, and we're not finding it very easy to get the coverage. And look at the back bumper of Flipper Racing. That car looks like it's in an absolute collision on the M5 rather than racing. As Washiki Bad Boy spins again. He's really struggling in that Audi, but System Flint is way behind him in the Ginetta G55. And Washiki Bad Boy is actually stuck in the wall here. This is the last thing he wants. Are we going to see a retirement here? Because he's actually not stopped, but he's also not started going. It's like his engine is cut out. System Flint in the Ginetta G55 is not far behind him as he heads towards turn 1 in this very almost undrivable car at times. It's got so little grip and so much power, but System Flint's doing his best, and indeed he's going to pass Washiki Bad Boy. Disaster for the Audi driver. Meanwhile, overhead Flipper Racing has started to cut the back of Maldovic VF1 in the McLaren MP4-12C GT3. For those of you watching out there on Twitch.tv at the moment, good evening to you all. This is live and exclusive coverage of the XRL Racing League GT3 Project Cars Division, and the chat box is open here on the XRL Racing League Twitch channel. Please get your messages out there. I'll do my best to get through them as Flipper Racing has caught right onto the back of Maldovic, who got on the brakes a bit too early for turn 14 there. Almost caught him out. Could have been yet another collision for Flipper Racing in the BMW Z4. Gets into the slipstream. It's a great opportunity here. Now it pulls tight to the back of the McLaren. Getting into the dirty air, punching the hole, gets the power down in the BMW Z4. Is he going to have the power to be able to go past the McLaren? Heading towards turn 1, it's going to be pretty tight this. Gets on the brakes, and he has to back out of the move on the compromised inside line. And Maldovic retains that 7th place for now. But Flipper Racing going into turn 3 is all over the back of him. And there's 20 laps to go here at the Circuit de Catalunya as Maldovic goes off the circuit. He's going to collect dust on his tyres and a potential chance of Flipper Racing, but he backs out. He just doesn't have the confidence to get close enough. However, going through turn 4 gets a much tighter line. This might give him an opportunity to wall of death around the outside of turn 5, and he gets on the brakes. Is he going to make his stick? Can he stop the car? Maldovic on the inside, we are still side by side. Contact between the McLaren and the BMW, but a great move of Flipper Racing to go through into 7th place. Maldovic VF1. Oh, as both drivers go past the ailing BMW of Jenkins there. I wonder if he thought he was being lapped possibly. Either way, they both get an easy overtake to 6th and 7th respectively. Unbelievable driving as Flipper Racing did a great overtake despite the contact from the McLaren. As it is a turn 10 to half, both drivers struggle under the braking, go wide, and that's allowed Jenkins to start catching them up. As the mid-pack are really getting close together here at the Circuit de Catalunya, going from turn 11 in towards turn 12. Jenkins really on the attack here as Maldovic has started to fall away from Flipper Racing. It's turn 14, you can see Maldovic went too close on the inside there, caught the corner, and that gave him an unfair advantage on the back of Flipper Racing, but then he also cut the inside corner at the final turn and hit the curb, which almost slowed the car down, and that's now allowed the gap to open up. Moving further forward, considerations in 5th place, looking at the back of Bobby Swagger, there's a bit of a gap between them. 94001 is in 3rd place, but look at this, Bergamo is all up the back of Killer Ramsey. We have a battle for the lead. Let's go on the external cameras. Have to go for turn 5 towards turn 6 here, and Bergamo in the BMW Z4 has now got the hammer down as he attacks the back of Killer Ramsey, who's on pole by half a second. But it just goes to show you don't get points for Saturday. It's what happens on race day here, and Bergamo is all over the back of the RUF, being driven by Killer Ramsey, heading down towards turn 10, headlights on, flashing his lights, trying to say, get out of the way, I want your lead. Meanwhile, Killer Ramsey is holding off in the RUF, saying not so fast, I'm going to make it easy for you. Meanwhile, behind them, we've got Knight 4001 in the sister RUF trying to close the gap here, retaining that podium position. But Bergamo and Killer Ramsey, 1st and 2nd accordingly. We've got a scrap for the lead, let's stay on board. Heading through 14 and 15, Bergamo really trying to get the power down here. We'll go on to the internal camera as he gets close to the inside. Fastest lap comparisons, a 44.4 is Bergamo's, but a 45.6 is Killer Ramsey's. 1.1 seconds taken out of the RUF driver's lead. Is he trying to save his tyres? Is he trying to save his fuel? Or is he struggling with the car? Bagavo, meanwhile, gets a better run for turn 1 into turn 2 there. Coming on the inside, we'll lose track of the cameras, going for turn 3. Bagavo really attacking the back of Killer Ramsey as he heads towards turn 4. But he's gone wide, almost onto the XRL AstroTurf there to try and get the fastest line. Killer Ramsey just holding him off. We've got 18 laps to go here. No one's yet boarded for the pits at this moment in time. Drivers evidently want to try to retain their speed and retain the grip as much as possible. But Killer Ramsey is really struggling here. And Bagavo almost went into the back of him at turn 5. Headlights are blaring and power down. Bagavo is impressing me here today because he wasn't anywhere in qualifying. But again, you don't get points for qualifying, you get it for racing. And Bagavo is certainly displaying his skills thus far. Headed to the outside, Bagavo really struggling to attack here. As we go to the inside, turn 10, the Titan hairpin. The corner gets much against it. Look at that, he goes solely off the circuit there. Lost so much downforce in that dirty air behind the RUF of Killer Ramsey, and that's caused Bagavo to lose ground there, maybe half a second or so on the RUF driver, and that's certainly an opportunity for him to pull away Killer Ramsey to be able to reassert his authority. Once again, looking at the lap times here, and you can see a 44.5 is the best from Bagavo, a response slightly from Killer Ramsey on a 45.3, but it's still not very impressive. So Bagavo getting into the slipstream at the back of Killer Ramsey, riding on board on the bumper cam here, just to show you the latest in the braking, the amount of speed he's carrying in that BMW Z4 as he heads through turns 1 and 2. Into turn 3 now, gets on the inside, just about misses the apex there, but he likes to run wide, Bagavo. He likes to take the more Formula 1 line, trying to use the outside green AstroTurf for the little extra grip and the line of least resistance. Heading into turn 4, gets on the brakes nice and early, but Killer Ramsey just holding him off. 17 laps to go here at the Circuit de Catalunya, and if you do have any questions whatsoever or any comments regarding racing, whether it's this race, whether it's the Formula 1, whether it's the upcoming World Endurance Series, whatever it is that you want to get out there, get in the chat box here on twitch.tv and I'll do my best to read a few for you. But in the meantime, first place is still Killer Ramsey, battling on against Bagavo, who's really bringing the game here, really attacking the back of the RUF into turn 10. You can really see that Bagavo is trying hard, but he's pushing, he's going wide, he's going off the circuit, he's making mistakes. And Killer Ramsey will be noticing this, who will looking at his mirrors and saying, you might be on my trumpet, but you keep going off the circuit. And that's giving me the advantage. Heading through turn 16, riding on board as we avoid the cutaway from the camera, getting into the slipstream. Normally with the DRS, if you're watching in the Formula 1 DTM here, in GT3 there is no such aid. But even so, Killer Ramsey's RUF seems to have very good straight line speed, and that's preventing the back of Bagavo catching up at this time. It's very close indeed. So Bagavo trying to get close as best as he can, trying to attack the back of that car, but he's just not got the pace. So coming out of turn 6 and turn 7, heading up the hill, you can see how he struggled to get the car down then as he went through the inside, clipped the curb, found himself losing a lot of grip, and that's allowed 94001 to get a bit closer. I would like to show you some of the other drivers on circuit, but it seems that these drivers want to put on a close race at the moment. Now, Circuit de Catalunya has been criticised in the past for being a circuit that's very difficult to overtake on. And even here with the GT cars, you see how much of a hassle it is for Bagavo. So I do apologise for you. It's got a bit of a dry throat there, so I'm doing all I can to keep this going. So Bagavo heading down the main pit straight, gets into the slipstream at the back of Killer Ramsey, really pushing the power on, gets in the slipstream, gets the power down towards turn 1. He's just not close enough, is he? He keeps trying to attack. Oh, big contact there though. Killer Ramsey just got punted by Bagavo. Bagavo wisely hangs off there and decides, I don't want to take first place. But Killer Ramsey, I think has been overtaken by Knight 4001. Indeed he has. Knight 4001 has just gone past the pair of them after that coming together. Well, Killer Ramsey's going to be furious about that. And he actually almost makes a mistake at turn 4 as Knight 4001 goes up the circuit. Bagavo goes through to the lead. Knight 4001's in second place. Killer Ramsey is down to third. He's going to be furious with that. What a crazy bit of driving that was. Of course, it was all caused by that collision at turn 1 between Bagavo and Killer Ramsey. Killer Ramsey will be furious, and who can blame him? Bit of a battle meanwhile between Bob Lee Swager and Kentucky Racer. Going to show this for a little while because we've not seen much of the guys behind. It's been a bit of a difficult one. You can see Kentucky Racer in 4th place and then Bob Lee Swager in the Audi looking to attack in towards turn 10. This will be a brave overtaking to make it happen, and he hasn't. He's hit the side of that BMW Z4 and decides it's best to let him go. Well, good driving in many ways from Bob Lee Swager, but also idiotic. An overtake there is almost never going to pull off. So meanwhile, Knight 4001 is ahead of Killer Ramsey in 2nd place. In the lead is Bagavo in the BMW Z4. Killer Ramsey will be very, very angry as there are 14 laps left to go here at the Circuit de Catalunya. Killer Ramsey trying to attack the back of Knight 4001 in the second of the two RUFs. Heading through turn 3, you can see that Bagavo goes that wider line. Killer Ramsey has the one that's more in the middle of the road. Knight 4001 first the tighter line. All 3 drivers getting similar pace out of it as we head towards turn 4. And Bagavo is starting to get a little bit of a gap over Knight 4001. And meanwhile, Killer Ramsey is also struggling to catch up to the back. Maybe the tyres are starting to go here, and we might be seeing a few drivers dive for the pits. Knight 4001 attacking the back of the Bagavo in the BMW Z4, trying to get close to the back. Bagavo's in the lead through the most fortunate of circumstances, and no doubt that is going to be investigated by the stewards, but you've got to say that was pretty close, driving between all 3 of them, and all the drivers kept stopping and waiting for each other. Then someone would pass, so another one would go, and another one would pass, and another one would stop. Evidently very difficult for the drivers to figure out exactly what etiquette they should be employing here, and Bagavo's taken advantage. He's found himself in the lead, ahead of Knight 4001, and then in 3rd place, Killer Ramsey. So Knight 4001 looks at the back of Bagavo, and Killer Ramsey goes into the pits. Killer Ramsey's decided to possibly try and get an undercut here by getting into the fresh rubber now. Now, the big question is, where exactly on track is he going to come out? Because Kentucky Racer and Bob Lee Swager, well, have chosen the right time to come on board here, because these 2 drivers are putting on a bit of a clinic as Bob Lee Swager uses the new pure power of the Audi R8 LMS and goes into 3rd place. But Kentucky Racer, with late braking in the BMW Z4, almost goes back through there. Going up the inside of turn 3, look at Kentucky Racer. So much more confidence in the car as he gets a beautiful drive on the inside. Heading towards turn 4, gets on the brakes. Can Kentucky Racer get back through? Yes, he can. Great overtaking driving there. Bob Lee Swager in the Audi R8 LMS is trying to muscle his way back through. This is like a touring car race and not kill here with how close these drivers are. Really, really close driving. As once again, Bubbly Swagger in the Audi R8 dies on the inside, and the Kentucky Dresser in the BMW Z4. Bubbly Swagger has to back out of the move at turn 6. He's just not got the grip, but great driving between these two. Magnificent. As Knight 4001 tries to get closer to the back of the race leader, Bergavo, but he's just not quite got it at the moment. Just hasn't quite got the power, hasn't quite got the grip. And the RUF, as it comes to the inside curve at turn 13, starting to slightly fall away from Bergamo. Both drivers nicely taking the corner, neither cutting too much. And both drivers once again going through. So they're evidently quite happy with their rubber. They don't want to go in and change their tyres. They don't feel they need a fresh pair of boots at this time. But the question to ask here is how close behind. As Flipper Racing in 5th place, then Killer Ramsey's in 6th, just going to turn 10 now. If these two drivers keep on at it, oh, meanwhile, what's this? Kentucky Racer weaving left and right on the main pit straight. And Kentucky Racer, Bubbly Swagger, has to move around the outside here. This will be a brave move to make it happen as Kentucky Racer holds him off into turn 2. Evidently now, the R8 LMS Ultra has just not got the grip to attack, but he's certainly doing what he can to get close to the back of that Kentucky Racer BMW Z4. Bubbly Swagger in the Audi R8 LMS doing all he can to put a race on here. As into turn 4 at the Circuit de Catalunya, and you can really see that Bubbly Swagger is struggling, really getting a bit wide on the outside there. Bergamo, meanwhile, is now in 2nd place. I don't know what happened, but Knight 4001 is now in the lead. Heading back for a Kentucky Racer ahead of Bubbly Swagger in the Audi R8 LMS Ultra. Right on board with these two for now, because they are the closest cars that I can see thus far on circuit. Brief lap time run there, you can see that Knight 4001 458 is his best. 45.1 for Bergamo, 45.5 for the Kentucky Racer, 45.9 for Bubbly Swagger, but Killer Ramsey at 45.0. And then after that, they're in the 48s and 47s. Very much a two-tier class of driving here in terms of pace, but you can really see that Bubbly Swagger, despite not really having the lap time as close, oh, he spun! Bubbly Swagger has hit a curb and has spun out, and that's put him well behind Kentucky Racer. Well, Kentucky Racer was disappointed in many ways, but at the same time relieved, because he's now been freed, and Bubbly Swagger will be behind him by a good 5 or 6 seconds as Bergamo tries to attack in the BMW Z4 at the back of Knight 4001 in the RUF. But these drivers are just too good, just too far ahead. Flipper Racing in 5th place, meanwhile BMW Z4 being caught quickly by Killer Ramsey. Then we've got Jenkins in the 2207, who's somewhere on circuit, not showing him. Maldovic, meanwhile, in the McLaren MP412C, just coming up to the back of Jenkins actually. Both drivers very close together. The BMW Z4 closely followed by the McLaren MP412C. And you can see that Maldovic has got a bit better grip heading out of those two corners into the final lap, into the final turn 16. Gets in the slipstream, great opportunity here. As he, oh, bit of braking now. I'm not quite sure why Jenkins was doing that. Brake lights did indeed come on as Maldovic gets closer, gets on the inside turn 1, gets on the brakes, but he's just not close enough to attack. However, mistake made by Jenkins 2207 goes off the circuit, and Maldovic says thank you very much, I'll have a bit of that. As meanwhile, Killer Ramsey is already got past Kentucky Racer and is now attacking the back of Flipper Racing. So I'm not sure how Kentucky Racer's ended up behind them. Killer Ramsey getting up the inside, position 5, going through turn 6 here, trying to catch the Flipper Racing in the BMW Z4. And let's not forget he's actually pitted, as Bergamo has now gone into the box. So this will be one to pay attention to Killer Ramsey on. How close to Bergamo is he going to be? Because he's only just coming up to turn 10 now. That seems a long time away, as Flipper Racing goes straight on. Not sure if there was contact there, it didn't look like it. We look like Flipper Racing just made a mistake, and Killer Ramsey's taken full advantage. Now, how close is Killer Ramsey going to be to Bagavo in the BMW Z4? He was a few seconds off before the pit, but he's had those couple of laps to ride a bit clearer air. Is he going to be close enough to attack the back of that? Bobby Swagger's in the pits, and so is Bagavo. This is going to be mighty close, this. Both the Bobby Swagger and the Audi and Bagavo are still in the pits. And Killer Ramsey is going to easily have this. He goes past the pair of them. Bagavo is completely he's out of this. Flipper Racing in P3. 94001 now has the lead from Killer Ramsey in second place. Then you got Flipper Racing, Kentucky Racer in fourth. Bagavo has only just been released, but he's been passed by Bobley Swagger and Maldovic, so it's disaster for Bagavo, who's completely got this wrong. In terms of timing here, I think that might have Bobley Swagger, and Bobley Swagger and Bagavo have both crossed the pit lane exit. That's going to be a penalty for the pair of them. It's in the rules. You cannot cross the pit line. So that's going to be a disaster for them. It's gone from bad to worse. As Kentucky Racer in fourth place in the BMW Z4 looks at the back of Flipper Racing in the newer BMW Z4. Killer Ramsey is second as 94001 is now in the pits. So Killer Ramsey, the guy who's second place, is he going to be able to take the lead here, or is 94001 going to have the pace to get out? 10 laps remain here at the Circuit de Catalunya in Spain. For those of you watching here live and exclusive on Twitch.tv, this is Excite Racing League's PlayStation 4 GT3 Cup live from the Circuit de Catalunya. Killer Ramsey can only look on as we come towards the end of the lap here, heading through turns 14 and 15. You can see nice clip of the curbs there as he gets to the inside, and 94001 is coming out of the pits. So he's not going to catch up to 94001. There's a good sizable gap between them there, as Killer Ramsey's done a 43.3 as his fastest lap. That's faster than his pole position lap, but it's not the point. He's not been able to catch up. Killer Ramsey is behind 94001 by quite a long way. Then you've got Kentucky Racer in the BMW Z4 in third place. Flipper Racing's done well. He's in the pits at the moment. Maldovic's just coming in. So Bobley Swagger is going to be a net fourth place here as he passes both Flipper Racing and also Maldovic. Now, System Flint is also coming through in 8th place, going through turn 10. Jenkins is in 9th place. Rounding off for the top 10 is Football 67611. But the big news here is that Killer Ramsey, who won the opening 2 rounds and came second at Donington Park, is looking like he's going to be on for second place again here in Catalunya, because he's got all the tyres than 94001, and 94001 has a sizable gap. Meanwhile, third place, Kentucky Racer is quite a bit of lift in, and Bobley Swagger is in fourth place. We've got quite a lot of drivers who have actually retired or quit here, so it's going to be an attritional grid as 94001 comes around to complete yet another lap and get himself onto the 8th lap from the end. He's looking very strong indeed, is 94001. Is he going to set a faster lap time? No, he's not yet. Killer Ramsey, meanwhile, is just coming through the final corner now. Gap between them is maybe 5 seconds. Killer Ramsey would have to really be on it at all-out attack here to have a chance of catching up, and it just does not look likely. And unfortunately, we're in that position where the drivers have got gaps between them mostly. Though Bagavo in the BMW Z4 has caught up to the back of Bobley Swagger in the Audi R8 LMS. So we'll ride on board with 5th place Bagavo here as he tries to catch up to Bobley Swagger and take that 4th position away from the Audi driver. Heading down the main pit straight here, no DRS, no curves in GT3. This is pure all-out, right foot on the pedal, and off you go. as Bergamo does his best to try and get closer to turn 1. You can see that Bubbly Swagger's on the brakes a little earlier there, went a bit deeper into the corner, so that's allowed Bergamo to close the gap. And we see how good Bergamo's been for turns 3 and 4. So this is a real opportunity for the BMW Z4 to haul itself into 4th place. And look at Bubbly Swagger, really made a hash of that, lost a lot of speed, and Bergamo is right behind him. And Bergamo fancies to move the inside turn 4, sees the wedge closing, decides wisely to back out, heading towards turn 5. Bergamo is all over the back of Bubbly Swagger like an angry rash, and a late lunge at turn 5, clips the inside apex. Both drivers side by side, a little bit of contact there. Bubbly Swagger on the outside, looking to possibly go around the outside wall of death at turn 6. But Bergamo says, no, you don't, I'm through. But Bubbly Swagger is not giving this up here. We're in through turns 7 and 8 into turn 9 before we go to the back straight to turn 10. Bubbly Swagger, do not count him out here, because he's going to have a nice slipstream down towards turn 10. The tightening corner, the hairpin. I don't think he's going to have a run here, so he decides wisely to follow for now. But both drivers go off the circuit. Bubbly Swagger will be furious now. He had a chance to catch up as Bergamo goes a bit wide at turn 10, and that allows Bubbly Swagger to catch up to him even closer. These drivers still trying to stick close together. Bergamo takes the inside line. Oh no, what's the move? Bubbly Swagger tries to take on the inside at turn 14 and makes his stick. Unbelievable, he's taken a move at turn 14 in the hairpin chicanes. He's managed to find a way through. What a move from Bubbly Swagger. Heading into turn 1, Bubbly Swagger back in 4th place as he's got Bergamo in 5th. These two drivers are going to be duelling to the end, you get the feeling of here. Bergamo will be furious that that's happened. Bubbly Swagger somehow caught him napping and dived on the inside of turn 14 in a dramatic move. But look at this once again. Bergamo just seems so much more comfortable through these long open corners at a high throttle and high speed. And as he comes up turn 4, Bubbly Swagger goes to the inside, try and cover him off. Bergamo once again makes a late lunge move into 5. Not quite close enough this time to get side by side through 5 into 6. Split now as Bubbly Swagger is doing the defending as it towards turns 7 and 8 as the sun starts to set at the Circuit de Catalunya here, and the drivers will be noticing the difference in grip as Bergamo goes through turn 9. Both drivers going a little wide on the outside. Bergamo's side by side with Bubbly Swagger. Both drivers heading into turn 10. Bubbly Swagger should have the high ground here. Gets on the brakes, but is he going to go wide as he takes the compromise line? Yes, he is. Bergamo might have a chance of down with an even 10 and 11. Oh, very close to it. He's to the almost taking those front wings off there. Bergamo trying to get as close as he can to the back of Bubbly Swagger in the Audi. He goes a little wide at turn 12. Into 13. Bergamo takes the inside line. Bubbly Swagger been so strong through the chicane here. Bergamo tries to follow him through. Both drivers cutting the inside corner at 15 there. Bit naughty with both drivers. You can't do that or you will get a penalty. But Bergamo, as a result of it, is catching the back as the sun starts to go down. These two drivers in the last 6 laps look like they're going to be giving us a close race to the checkered flag. Bubbly Swagger has a little bit of ground into turn 1. But Bergamo gets on the brakes a little later. You can see he's more confident to go into the corner at a higher speed and carry more speed through the bends. That's where Bergamo has been proving strongest as they go through turn 3, heading in towards turn 4, and you can already see the gap shrinking as Bergamo is really able to keep that throttle down. Gets on the brakes, late lunge into 4, right over the inside curve, almost goes onto the grass to take evasive action. Bergamo's compromised himself here, heading towards turn 5. He's not going to be close enough to make a move. Oh, big contact! Big shunt! Both drivers looking it up on the circuit there. Bergamo waits wisely to ensure he gains no advantage. That could have been a lot worse. Both drivers really did well to hang on there. Bergamo will be furious about that. Got his braking all wrong. But he goes through turns 7 and 8 into 9. And he's still relatively close to Bubbly Swagger. Bubbly feeling a little less confident now as he gets on the brakes ahead. Heading into turn 10. Is Bergamo going to have a nice lunge on the inside here? Don't think so. But you see that Bubbly Swagger favours the outside line. As Bergamo goes off the track and Bubbly Swagger takes the inside line at 10 and 11. Rides around the outside at 12. And you can see Bubbly Swagger's opened the tats a little bit into turn 13, but Bergamo started to catch as they go into 14 and 15, but the BMW Z4 driver is just not able to close the gap crucially. Oh, by mistake! Bobley Swagger has dropped it at turn 15, and that is the end of that. Bergamo goes into 4. Bobley Swagger will be furious with himself. He did so well. He did so well to close that, get that position back, and has then cost himself that wonderful position by making a catastrophic error on the out part of turn 15. It's just so important that you plant the power at the right time, not on the sausage curbs, not on the slippery paint white lines. You've got to get the power down at the right opportunity, at the right force, or you'll find yourself doing as Bobley Swagger did and costing yourself dear. Killer Ramsey on a lonely march to second place, 94001, and even lonelier like march to third. Kentucky Racer, meanwhile, is also very much on his own in third place. Bergamo is in fourth. Bobley Swagger is a few seconds behind with 5 laps to go. It's unlikely he'll close that gap unless he really puts the hammer down and delivers some monster laps, which I'm not expecting. Clever Racer, meanwhile, is a long way back in 6th place. Maldivic's further behind him in 7th. Jenkins only just got over the start-finish line in 8th. We've got Football 6-7, 6-1 going for turn 5 in 9th. And then after that, well, everybody else is in the pit garage. So, actually, there's going to only be 9 drivers who get points today, because only 9 drivers are on course to finish, as we've got 4 laps to go. And unfortunately, we're at that point now where the drivers have all got nice little gaps to each other. And that means we're not going to have the close race finish we wanted. But it's been a fascinating race in many ways here at the Circuit de Catalunya, because you've really seen the difference in the driver performances and the way that they can get the power down, the way that they can get the skill in, the mistakes they're making, the collisions they're having, all so many errors that have gone wrong, so many things that haven't quite worked out. But Kentucky Racer in third place, proving that if you stick to the track, you stick to the right pace, you can make it through. 94001, meanwhile, is not beyond Killer Ramsey's clutches. In fact, Killer Ramsey has got that gap down. There's 4 laps to go here. Sneakily, he might be able to take a photo finish here. We're going to ride a bull with Killer Ramsey, because that gap has visibly shrunk. Now, this is interesting. Killer Ramsey was quite a long way behind Knight, and he put his tyres on earlier, so his tyres should be more worn out, should have less grip. But he seems more confident in the car. And look at this, the gap is shrinking all the more. 94001 is in trouble. 94001 is only a couple of seconds clear. Killer Ramsey has turned this into a race. We're right on for the checkered flag between first and second position here. Killer Ramsey in the slipstream of the sister RUF, so both cars' power units will be cancelling the other out. There'll be no advantage really. Heading into turn 1, this is pure about driver skill. Ramsey very late on the brakes there, unbelievable. Oh, and a mistake! 94001 has gone spinning. He's gone and lost it. He's been put under pressure by Killer Ramsey. And a big mistake from 94001 puts him down to second. Never ever say never, because anything can and will happen on the racetrack. 94001 will be gutted. What a mistake! I don't know what quite happened there. One of the circuits spun the car, and Killer Ramsey was like, well, thank you very much. I will have those 25 points. And that, if as long as he doesn't make any mistakes himself, now Killer Ramsey, and don't think it's beyond him, all of a sudden he's likely to get 3 wins out of 4. And that will put him on an amazing 98 points for the season. Wow! Meanwhile, Kentucky Racer is also catching up to the back of Knight. Kentucky Racer has suddenly pulled himself in here out of nowhere. Has 94001 done something to his car? Has he caused some damage to it? Has he cooked his tyres so much that they're bald? There's 3 laps to go here, and Kentucky Racer is now in the mix. In the BMW Z4, he fancies second place, and why shouldn't he? He's hauled himself into contention from absolutely nowhere. Knight 4001 is in real trouble. He seems to be flagging every single lap, and all of a sudden, Knight 4001 is in danger of being knocked down to the bottom step of the podium. But the power of turn 16, look at that! He was able to stretch his legs on Kentucky Racer, and Kentucky Racer's just not quite got that speed in the straight line. This is all about cornering, and we see Knight 4001 is quite strong here, but again, he also drops it in turn 1. Never say never. Kentucky Racer for turn 3 seems to be carrying a lot more speed than Knight 4001 as we head towards turn 4, and Bagamo in 4th place has got himself on a bit of a recovery drive as Kentucky Racer is now catching up to the back of Knight 4001 as there is only 2 laps remaining here at the Circuit de Catalunya in Spain. For those of you watching live and exclusive on twitch.tv, thank you all very much for being here. The chat box is open, so if you have any comments, we will be happy to read them out. It's been quite a quiet race with you all, there's been almost no interaction. But meanwhile, Kentucky Racer looking at the back of Knight 4001 going into turn 9. These drivers are so close here. Look at Kentucky Racer getting on the outside towards turn 10. He fancies going the long way round wall of death style. Is he going to make this stick? My God! What a driving! Knight 4001 at turn 11, but a great move on the inside from Kentucky Racer. Magnificent stuff. Knight 4001 will not be able to believe what's just happened. From the outside of turn 11, Kentucky Racer has taken second place. What driving from the BMW Z4 driver as we head onto pretty much the final lap. But wow, look at the power from Knight 4001. You work is an absolute demon in a straight line, and he's going to leave him for absolute dead here. Heading towards turn 1. Kentucky Racer have the smallest of Indian summers here. It's the final lap. Oh! Both drivers, big collision. And turn 2, both drivers go off the circuit. Kentucky Racer has gone in front. He's going to have to get that position back. If he does not, that will be a severe penalty. Knight 4001 is riding on board. Is Kentucky Racer going to let him back through? Will Kentucky Racer yield? He should do, because he's likely to be held at fault for the first accident. And it's best that he gets out of the way here. But I don't think Kentucky Racer's stopping. I think Kentucky Racer fancies second place here. And the stewards are going to be pretty busy, because there's been quite a few incidents this race. And just on the final lap, when you all thought it was done and dusted, when you all thought the grid was all sorted, the collision happens. Knight 4001, he's not being let past. Kentucky Racer wants to cross the finish line second place. Well, you can finish there all you want, but it doesn't mean that you're going to get to keep it, because the move at turn 1 was far from clean, as Knight 4001 to Richard Calera goes very wide indeed, and Kentucky Racer almost looks like he's celebrating already as we go through 11 and into 12 here. Kentucky Racer has managed to force his way through, but it wasn't the cleanest of moves. Meanwhile, in first place, Killer Ramsey takes the checkered flag and wins the race here at the Circuit de Catalunya. Second place, we got Kentucky Racer. It's going to hang on, but meanwhile, Knight 4001 spins on the final corner of the final lap. Well, what a crazy scenario that was. Unbelievable. Bergamo's not far behind, but he's not going to be close enough to attack here. So Bergamo is going to take 5th place and cross the start-finish line to recover. Meanwhile, Bob Lee Swager, almost went into the pit wall there. He was struggling to get the car stopped, and indeed has managed to spin it on the last lap, on the last corner. Maybe all the drivers are so tired, it's unbelievable here. Heading towards the start-finish line, Bob Lee Swager is going to be able to look at this, and my God, what a move. He finishes in 5th place. So, 5th place, Bob Lee Swager, 6th place to Jenkins, Maldovic VF1. He's coming close now towards the end of the lap to get himself 7th place back. as we find ourselves at the end of this race here at the Circuit de Catalunya. All the drivers have pushed hard, all the drivers have worked for this thing, but what a mistake, Flipper Racing! Oh wow, where did that come from? Flipper Racing has just done Maldovic on the final corner of the final lap. What is it with the final corner? There's been so many strange things happen there. But Maldovic's now in 6th place. Must be some kind of lag there because he got past. The screen footage shows it as Jenkins in 8th place heads towards the start-finish line to finish this race as night starts to fall here at the Circuit de Catalunya, Spain. And a great performance all round. He's been well chuffed to get those 8 points. And then we got Football 676 number 1, who's the last of the runners, and he will finish 9th. So we find ourselves with the final position here. This is the result. 24 of 24 laps completed. Your winner was Killer Ramsey with a fastest lap of a 43.3. You got Kentucky Racer in second, provisionally on a 44.7. Knight 4001 also on the 44.7. His results provisional too. Bagavo 44.4 and the BMW Z4 in 4th place. We got Bob Lee Swager in 5th on a 44.6. Then we've got Maldovic Vic 1, he's on 6th place on a 46.5. Flipper Racing on a 46.0 in 7th. Jenkins a 48.0 in 8th. And Football 67601, he runs off at the 47.9. Well, in conclusion, the 48.9, sorry. In conclusion then, Killer Ramsey wins here at the Circuit de Catalunya. And he gets it 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely amazing. So, thank you all very much for joining us here, live and exclusive on twitch.tv. I'm Peter Marcroft. Thank you very much, and good night.